Welcome back to Raw, Restoring Awesome Warriors. I'm your host, Jackie H. And of course, I have here with me my co-host, Gail Barron, the judge. And we back again for another episode, Gail. We've been getting some really great reviews on, even though the subscribe and everything is not showing it, but the things that we are doing to help people. I am so happy that what we have been through in our life and able to share, that it is actually benefiting someone. How you been doing and what you think?
I'm fine. Well, why don't you ask them to please subscribe and like
And
the
share.
podcast? Yes.
And turn on that notification button so when we come on with everything that we are doing, half of it be upside down and whatever, but it's us. We always say that we're not experts, but we've been through a lot and we sharing our experiences and hope that some of it, something that we say that will help you. So we are continuing our talk and session on the reigning spirit. And Gail, as I've been really digging into some of these things that I didn't know that it was a spirit of, like the state of being. And today I want to, if you don't mind, can we talk a little bit about the spirit of infirmity?
Yes.
There's a lot of people, maybe they're not even aware
Right.
that they are carrying the spirit of infirmity. And if you can, in your own words, if you have the definition, can you just tell me what is infirmity?
Well, infirmity is a weakness. It's something that lacks strength,
Mm-hmm.
and it can you can recover, but if you don't know what it is, sometimes when we go through things in life, we take it at face value and we think that this is it.
Mm-hmm.
But a weakness, well, the opposite of weakness is strength.
Right.
So there are some things, if you just put the muscle grease in and you work hard, you can regain your strength.
So, we're Christians. We are Bible-based people. So there's a scripture in the Bible where there was a woman that Jesus, he said that she had this infirmity for 18 years. And just at the sound of him saying, stand up, get up, it was over that fast.
Right.
I was always amused by that it only took someone to tell you and help you, be there for you, and you was able to get up. That's how easy it seemed that it was. I know it's going to take muscle and it's going to take something you do, but sometimes someone just speaking into that condition or whatever state that you in.
Right. But Jesus knew.
What was
So
her condition?
so sometimes
You had to tell them.
we ask to help
Oh, okay.
don't know.
Have to know. Okay.
So when helping somebody, you have to first know, because you can't speak life or speak recovery to somebody if you don't believe it yourself.
Wow. Okay.
You can't give what you don't have.
Okay. So, what is it that you need to know, or what are some of the things that you can tell, or I can tell, or somebody can tell someone, maybe to get them up? What do you need to recognize? What do you need to see? Like, okay, I'm gonna use an example for our mother when she got sick. She was able or could have got up and did better. But I remember we took her to Moss Rehab, or we was trying to get her into rehab. And the question they asked us, is she able to do at least an hour worth of work? I know her state, but what is her mind saying? Could she do that? But she didn't. She didn't want it. I don't know if she know if she could do it, but I don't even think she even tried.
Right. And you have to take into consideration, I think mommy was about 80.
Yeah.
And I know it's some 80 years old that is still active, but mommy never was physically active like that. I mean, she did things, but hard work. And the only reason why I know, because I went to Moss.
Yeah.
And so what helped me was my therapist,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe they didn't have a stroke, but still they had the information.
Okay.
And I had to, my mindset had to meet what they told me, because you have to agree with what they say
Okay.
and be in agreement with your recovery. If not, you're going to be in that same state.
So I know there's a spirit of depression. I know people have a spirit of depression, but could you come from under that? Is it certain? Like I get depressed sometimes or get sidetracked sometimes, but I don't think that I'm in the spirit of depression. So what do you speak to people who is in a state, but they really it's not a state of, they just need some help to get out of it? I don't know if I'm
Well,
saying it correctly.
that's two things you said,
Okay.
because all of us get down
Right.
at any given day. All of us don't feel our best.
Right.
But when you get to the extreme of hopelessness, where you don't think it's no way out, that's where you're succumbed by that thing.
Is that an infirmity though?
It's an infirmity, because once it overtake you, it render you weak. You're feeble. You don't have no strength. You can't even think to get out of it. And a lot of time, even to what you were saying about the Bible speaks of healing, it just doesn't happen just that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a magic wand. It's not some abracadabra. You actually have to agree. It has to be a belief. You have to believe what the person who is trying to help you is saying.
So if I'm helping you or trying to get you over the state that you're in, so you telling me you have to believe what I'm saying? Or you have to believe that you can overcome it?
You have to believe it, and also the person that's helping have to take into consideration your state.
Okay.
Because that's where hopelessness sometimes come from. My brother, Michael, he does training.
Mm-hmm.
And but sometimes Michael and my son Akeem, they give exercise, but it's according to them. And so if you're not into exercise like that, it can deter you. So what I'm saying, you have to take into consideration the state of the person you're helping. Sometimes you just start off slow, because you need to give them small steps where they can appreciate and celebrate, not starting off on 10.
Okay, so let me ask this. Your state of mind versus something that's easy. So if your doctor or someone to say, only thing I need you to do, like you're a stroke patient, only thing you need to do is every day is put on your brace on your leg. And it will help your condition. Is there a mindset? You need a mindset for that too? Like to tell you to put it on. Now, I'm not being funny, but I'm saying.
If you don't believe it,
wow.
it's still your mindset. It's still your belief. If you believe that brace or whatever it is going to help you while with you. It's simple, but it may not be.
So you have to deal with the mind.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So the state of something is your mind. It's the mindset. So understanding who you're working with, how you're going to attack or help them is crucial.
Because you can will yourself back.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the proper information and the proper help.
And you determine.
And you determine.
Okay.
So I'm still doing rehab. It's almost 8 years. This wasn't my original state. I was in a wheelchair. And it was hard. Not discounting that. It was hard. Because once my muscles was paralyzed, it takes work to stretch it. It hurted. So I don't want to make
but I know it hurted, but your mind never went there.
Right.
So the spirit of infirmity, is that mostly with your mind?
Right.
Even though you in a state,
right.
but your mind never went there.
It's what you think about it.
So some people, their mind go to their condition.
Right. And that's culture shock. And that can really send you if you don't have positive people and support in your ear.
Wow.
You can tell me the right thing, but the way you say it to me can bring another blockage. It's all about the mind.
Yeah.
Because if my mind think you're not trying to help me, and you could very well be, but your tone,
okay.
You're expecting me to do things my mind is telling me and my sight is telling me I can't. Mm-hmm. How do you get me to trust what you're saying?
Okay. So there's another example I want to use was the man that was, well, we're talking Bible, so case at the pool for 38 years. He was in that state for 38 years. And he kept on making excuses of why he couldn't get healed, right? But he actually told Jesus that he couldn't. But then he turned around and asked him, do you want to? So it keep going back to, even if you say it nice, you still got to have a hope that you can. So I guess you got to get them up to the hope that they believe that they can. He said, take it up and walk. You know,
Jesus asked him,
yeah,
do you want to be made whole? It was a custom that a certain time the angel came down and troubled the water, and whoever got in first, they got healed. So he's crippled. He can't get up. So he said every time he went to get in, somebody stepped in before him. That was legit. But when Jesus came, because he is the healer, that was private. He asked him, I want to know, do you want to be made whole? It's different with Jesus because he knew he was there 38 years.
But the person knew they was there. I'm trying to get to the point of, I know you're in a state of, you at that pool because you are crippled. So you know you're crippled. Everybody around you is in the same condition. So you knew that. You knew that. I'm not talking about the one who's helping you. So your mind is like everybody else. So it goes back to your mindset.
And they can bring hopeless 38 years.
Yeah. Of being around the same condition.
Same kind.
Same people. Same condition. So it'd take one person to say, do you want to? Well, you was down there because you did want to.
But he offered him another avenue. See, a lot of time
he had to get him. He just said, "Take it. Just take it." A lot of
times, the help don't have another avenue. Mm-hmm. They only have that one way.
Right.
There is another way.
Yeah. Because you're going in knowing that the person already got a problem, and you asking them to think.
You got to offer. Yeah. Give options.
How could I help you?
Let me help you.
Let me help you.
There's another way. I know you was there 38 years, but I'm here to give you a better way. Yeah. You don't have to even go in the pool. Yeah. And back then, even with our forefathers and things, they only knew one way.
Okay.
So a lot of these infirmities were lingering because I only know what I know, and you don't know what you don't know.
So you lay in that state for that many years or whatever it is, when it just takes somebody positive, somebody know the way, somebody know what it is,
That
just to come and say, you know what, come on, we can do it this way. Let's get up and do, and you could come out of that infirmity, because that's how I take it. If you have the right help
right.
and the support, you can bring someone out just like that, or they'll trust you enough to even try. But if, like you say, if you're doing it all, how you respond, how, I, I just going back to my mother, because I dealt with her for years and years. Even my husband, when you get in the state of, you can put people more in the state of by how you treat them, or how you do. But it's interesting.
When the help hurts, you gotta have other options.
So it doesn't matter what state you're in. Seeking and getting the right help, and the people, I'm talking to people like myself or others that wants to help, make sure that you're helping with good intentions, and get some education yourself
Yeah.
of how to help someone, because you can damage people more that's already in a state. I remember one time talking to one of my friends. I was calling myself trying to help. She told me she was depressed, and I mean, it must have been a state of depression, because it wasn't just depressed that day. I like, you come on out of this. Come on, you can get up. But the way I was like a cheerleader on the baseball team, that wasn't working for her. She got more mad. She was more mad at me for how I said it, like she was some kind of instrument or something. But I didn't mean no harm. But that wasn't how you help that person that has a state of depression or a state of something. You got to know how. I remember telling people, come on, let's go to church. That's all I knew. I know God can help you. But then you get there and you don't, it's not just that cut and dry. You have to know, and you have to have power yourself to even speak to that. What is that condition? Like you said, you got to know.
You gotta know something about what you're addressing, because you don't know people's background, their upbringing, you don't know the trauma. You just don't know. You can't diagnose something just by looking at it.
And sometimes the state of infirmity, I found out, can be from unforgiveness. It can be trauma. It can be something that puts you in that state. Some people don't know how much the power of unforgiveness is. Somebody did something to you probably when you was a child. You 40, 50, 60, you still carrying that, and it's put you in a state of. So if I could speak to anyone, that unforgiveness, we got to work on that, because that deals with your health.
Yeah.
It puts you in a state of. Do you have anything else that you know that can cause infirmity, like to keep you there? I know sin, it
Not
could
knowing
be
your rights.
not knowing your rights. Okay.
Not knowing the right as a Christian and naturally. Because a lot of times when I give an example of when I was a property manager, and the supportive service wanted me to mandatory the residents to their classes. Their classes was college classes.
College?
College classes. But
For
see,
what kind of place you was in?
Drug, alcohol, and homeless.
Oh.
And so you wanted me as the property manager to mandatory them, but you did not know some of these people could not even read. So
Wow.
you're putting pressure on them, and then you want my stamp of approval. I wasn't going to do that.
Wow.
Because a lot of time, as I stated, when the help hurts. So if you're not willing to go the mile with someone, there's not too much else. People don't want to know what you know until they know that you care. I don't care what your title is, how many acronyms you have behind your name. If you don't care about people, people will not trust you. And you can have some good information.
Well, that wasn't too much good information to try to give me college courses, and I can't read and I have
you
a
didn't
problem.
know that. You didn't know that. So that's what I'm saying.
She didn't know that
No, she didn't, because you got to spend time with people to know. And that's with any, with the infirmities, people don't know their rights because maybe somebody didn't tell them. Maybe they never heard of it.
Okay.
You can't do that to people. You have rights even as a human being. And just because I have fallen on hard times, it don't make me less than.
Okay.
So the main thing is for whoever is helping. I had to go to class even to assist my tenants. I even had to go to class even when when my husband was coming home from prison. They sent me to class before he came home because I didn't know about his mindset. When people are locked up for how many years, they are told what to do. They don't have their own
thought and freedom
no more. You're told when to eat. So him coming home, I had to be ready for that person that came home. He wasn't used to freedom. And that's what I learned even with my residents. Some of them was incarcerated 25 years and only lasted out here a month.
Wow. So it was just like when I went to rehab with Alan, our brother. The lady made sure she told me, you need to get educated more than he do.
Right.
Because if you're going to be the help, you need to know how to help him. So I'm saying, and what we're saying, it's good to want to help. We all love to help, but when the help hurts.
Right.
And when you don't have the right information, you can keep someone bent over for a long time. They already in their state.
Right.
And then you help push them over just a little bit more because of it can be a make or break with the wrong information.
Right.
So we're going to continue this subject. We're not getting off the rain and spirit. There's so many. But we just want to start addressing just some of them. And the most thing that I get out of this, and you can tell me what yours is, educating yourself.
Right.
So what's your most important?
I second the motion.
Okay.
Because you can't help me if you don't know what's wrong with me.
Okay.
If my feet is hurting, I don't need you working on my eyes. You have to know.
Yeah, you had to go there?
Yeah, I had to go there.
You went all the way from your feet to your eyes?
That's right, because that has been happening throughout life and throughout many genres. Somebody's head is hurting and you working on their arm. You have to know, you do more damage.
Okay. Well, leaving on that note, because she went from her feet to her eyes, like she skipped her knees, her legs, and everything. You just jumped all the way up there. But anyway, I understand, and we're going to keep on talking and sharing information as we get. We have a lot to share in the same subject, so we can't do it all in one setting. But what is your state? Are you bent over from family generation?
Right.
Are you bent over because you just don't know what to do and you just stay in that state? Can you be helped? Do you believe you can get up? And to the person who's helping, would you want to educate yourself or get some information so you can help the person that is bent over? And that's all I have to say. Unless you have something else you want to say. As we always end this podcast saying, love God, love family, work hard, and be kind. Yeah.